gift from Illyria. Touch it. Go on, feel the fabric.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon costumes.
And your dress, did you make it? Such a talent. You must make something for me.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most show-stopping looks and iconic style moments from the world of Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. There are spoilers ahead, so watch out if you're new to the series. Which character do you think gets the best costumes? Share your favorites in the comments below. Number 10. Daemon's Dragon Armor. It's not just the women of Westeros who can boast epic outfits. Even functional clothing such as armor can give us a clue to individual personality traits and allegiances.
The wolf rushes into the lion's jaws, so be it.
The Lannisters are often seen in lion-embossed red and gold, while Sir Loras Tyrell, who is particular about his clothes, favors an intricate rose pattern design. In the first episode of House of the Dragon, we're just getting to know Prince Daemon.
My brother's city has fallen into squalor. Crime of every breed has been allowed to thrive. No longer. Beginning tonight, King's Landing will learn to fear the color gold.
His eye-catching dragon helmet marks him out as a Targaryen, and the sheer drama of his tournament gear suggests a display of power and prestige. The shape of his tunic was designed for ease of movement and created with Japanese samurai in mind.
Now, I'm fairly certain I can win these games, Lady Alicent. Having your favor would all but assure it.
Number 9. Brienne's Armor. Daemon's armor is perhaps the showiest we've yet seen in Westeros, but Brienne's is the most iconic.
You are all your father promised and more, my lady. I've seen Sir Loras bested once or twice, but never quite in that fashion.
She may be a highborn lady, but she never looks comfortable in a dress and is her most authentic self when dressed for battle. Brienne is introduced in her gold armor, and although her heavy plate and visor are plain and unadorned, she can't help but stand out from the crowd. In Season 4, she's gifted a new suit of armor by Jaime Lannister.
I hope I got your measurements right.
It's another simple design, as according to costume designer Michelle Clapton, quote, Jaime isn't a particularly creative person. For her final scenes, Brienne returns to her trademark gold, with one addition: a raven symbol on the breastplate. Number 8. Myrcella's Death Dress.
What a lovely dress.
You don't like it?
You must be cold.
Not at all. The Dornish climate agrees with me.
Despite her Lannister lineage, Myrcella Baratheon is probably the closest thing Game of Thrones has to a Disney princess. Her last gown is a billowing pink cloud of a dress, featuring some beautiful detailing by the show's embroiderer, Michelle Carragher.
Now that you've seen more of the world, you've learned how complicated things can be, people can be.
The whimsical design accentuates Myrcella's youthful innocence, but is mirrored in the ensembles worn by her murderers, who are dressed in a more feminine style than usual, as if to suggest that they aren't a threat. The Dornish fashions are more revealing than those of the other kingdoms, and when Jaime arrives to take Myrcella home, he's disapproving of her new wardrobe. However, in their final scenes together, she looks every inch the princess.
I think a part of me always knew. And I'm glad.
Number 7. Jon Snow's Fur Cloak. Whether he's beyond the wall or holding court at Winterfell, Jon Snow lives in heavy cloaks and furs, which have become synonymous with his character.
Next time I see you, you'll be all in black. It was always my color.
In Season 1, he joins the Night's Watch, donning the uniform that has earned the Night's Watch the nickname of Crow among the Free Folk. You can see why. Their fur capes may actually be IKEA rugs, but when dyed and distressed, they create the impression of ragged crow's feathers. As King of the North, Jon's look levels up. Sansa presents him with a new cloak, one suitable for the Lord of Winterfell.
I made it like the one Father used to wear. As near as I can remember.
Thank you, Sansa.
He may not be Ned's son by birth, but Jon takes up his father's mantle as the moral heart and hero of the series, and he wears it well.
I'm not going to swear an oath I can't uphold. Talk about my father if you want. Tell me that's the attitude that got him killed. But when enough people make false promises, Words stop meaning anything.
Number 6. Rhaenyra's coronation gown.
This is no trivial gesture, Rhaenyra. Dragon's saddle is one thing, but the Iron Throne is the most dangerous seat in the realm.
House of the Dragon is set hundreds of years earlier than Game of Thrones. This gives new head costume designer Janit Tamim the challenge of creating a Westerosi way of dressing that feels as if it's from another era.
Now, you and I both own a small piece of our ancestry.
The first time we see Rhaenyra in ceremonial dress, she's being crowned as heir to the Seven Kingdoms. When designing the look, Tamim was influenced by the brides of ancient Morocco. She made a feature of the long earrings and elaborate headdress to add an air of mystery and suggest something, quote, unique, antique, and special. The headdress is inspired by the halos in Byzantine religious art. The princess's necklace is crafted from the 6 sigils of the houses who have pledged to serve her.
Rhaenyra Targaryen, Princess of Dragonstone, and heir to the Iron Throne.
Number 5. Sansa's Lady of Winterfell look. Sansa Stark had one of the most interesting character progressions of Game of Thrones, and her clothes changed with her. She swapped her northern styles for King's Landing fashions when she relocated to the capital.
You wear your hair like a real southern lady now.
Well, why shouldn't I run the south?
Her most dramatic transformation was her femme fatale styling as Dark Sansa. By contrast, her white wedding dress emphasized her innocence during her doomed second nuptials. However, our favorite look is her final Winterfell ensemble.
Command suits you. The Northerners are all facing north, worried about the threat from beyond the wall.
So they should be.
As Littlefinger's Dark Lady, Sansa was only playing at being powerful, but when she's finally home on her own terms, she starts dressing for command. Her quilted dress and fur cape are professional and pure Stark, but still feminine. This version of Sansa is a force to be reckoned with.
I'm a slow learner. It's true. But I learn.
Number 4. Cersei's style evolution. Cersei Lannister may be a Baratheon by marriage, but we're most likely to associate her with the red and gold of her house of birth. However, before King Robert's death, the Queen is careful not to show her true colors. She wears softer hues, pinks, pale blues, and sometimes Baratheon brown. But her husband is barely cold before she's embraced her signature red.
Power is power. Do see if you can take some time away from your coins and your whores to locate the Stargirl for me.
Cersei's new gowns are all hard edges, sharp lines, and embroidered lion motifs. As war looms, she even begins to incorporate armored corsets and belts into her outfits.
I should have been born a man. I'd rather face 1,000 swords than be shut up inside with this flock of frightened hens.
Following the deaths of her children, there's very little left of old Cersei. Short-haired and dressed in mourning black, she's dispensed with feminine wiles as a weapon and rules only through fear.
Order your man to step aside or there will be violence.
I choose violence.
Number 3. Alicent goes green. House of the Dragon tells the story of the Blacks and the Greens, and in Episode 5, Alicent Hightower lets her colors fly for the first time.
The beacon on the high tower. Do you know what color it glows when Old Town calls its banners to war?
Green.
This nod to the traditions of her house is intended to send a message. Alicent's emerald green gown is not an outright declaration of war, but rather a statement of intent. It suggests that she's breaking from Rhaenyra and putting herself and her family first from now on.
You are the challenge! You are the challenge, Aegon! Simply by living and breathing!
The Queen continues to dress in similar shades, with the style and cut becoming gradually more conservative as she ages and becomes more entrenched in religion. But that first dress, with its gold detailing, low neckline, and dramatic sleeves, is the real showstopper.
Where was I? The joining of the two houses, Your Grace.
Number 2. Marjorie's wedding dress. Marjorie Tyrell is one of Westeros' master manipulators, and her provocative style of dress is just one of the weapons in her arsenal.
Could you do it? Could you kill something?
I don't know, Your Grace. Do you think I could?
Yes.
Would you like to watch me?
Hailing from Highgarden, south of King's Landing, Marjorie can indulge in floaty fabrics and flesh-bearing silhouettes. In the Tyrell colors of green and gold, or soft blues, she always looks effortlessly feminine, her sharp mind and ruthless ambition concealed behind a guileless and attractive appearance.
Do you want to be a queen?
No. I want to be the queen.
For Marjorie's wedding dress, Michelle Clapton wanted something a little more dangerous. The gown has an open back and plunging neckline, but is characterized by the central motif of a thorned briar rose, which symbolizes the creeping influence of the Tyrells. The train is made of silk roses, each one hand-rolled and stitched.
Let it be known that Marjorie of House Tyrell and Joffrey of the houses Lannister and Baratheon are one heart, one flesh, one soul.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Melisandre's red statement look. The red woman always makes an impression.
What I told your son is true. Death by fire is the purest death.
Daenerys' Karth dress. The first time Daenerys wears blue, and it suits her.
I can almost always tell what a man wants.
And what about what a woman wants?
Much more complicated. You, for example. What do you want?
Sansa's first wedding dress. This regal gown incorporates Lannister lions and Stark wolves.
You may now cloak the bride and bring her under your protection.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Daenerys' coat. Exiled princess, Khaleesi of the Great Grass Sea, breaker of chains, and mother of dragons, Daenerys Stormborn had quite the fashion journey.
Did he like her?
Trust me, Your Grace. If he didn't like her, we'd know.
Beginning the series in barely there pastel fabrics, Dany transitioned into earthy Khaleesi browns before emerging as a conqueror in bold cobalt blue. As her dragons grew, scale-patterned embroidery became a feature, as did winged sleeves. We love the evolution of her Marine era and her final Targaryen look, but if there's one Game of Thrones costume to top them all, it's that coat.
The most important person in the world can't fly off to the most dangerous place in the world.
Who else can? When Daenerys flies north to rescue Jon Snow, she dresses for the weather in a romantic statement piece. The coat is white faux fur with a jaw-dropping dragon tail detail on the back, and it's too gorgeous for words.
You told me to do nothing before and I listened to you. I'm not doing nothing again.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.